Good morning, everyone. I'm your host, Regina Bergman, CEO of Bridgeport Strategy, bringing you another tip today for accelerating the profit in your business. One of the biggest mistakes that business owners can make is to create a company that is dependent upon the owner's involvement for the success of its daily operations. This is called working in your business instead of working on your business. So I felt it appropriate today, as we're getting ready to start a new year, to talk about the 7 areas that you need to systemize in your business. When you're working on your business or in your business, you're busy writing all of those basic sales letters. You might even be licking the stamps. You're guiding your staff, if you have them, with step-by-step instructions through every task. Or maybe you don't have a staff, but you have a virtual assistant somewhere. And there are a number of problems with this approach. And trust me, we've all been there. I have to raise my own hand. But if you're still there, I get it. But hopefully, you'll take away some tips today that will help you get out of that place and be able to work on your business instead of in your business. Now, one of the problems with this approach is redundancy. You're paying your staff to carry out tasks that you eventually complete. The second thing is poor time management. You're spending your day at your high hourly rate on tasks as they arise. Excuse me, I seem to have a twisted tongue this morning. Things aren't coming out right. But you're spending your time on tasks as they come up, leaving little room for the tasks that you need to be focused on. However, the biggest issue that I have with this approach is that countless intelligent business owners are spending the majority of their time operating their business instead of growing it. So here's a good test for you to determine if that's what you're doing or not. Ask yourself this question: what would happen if I took off this holiday season for 3 weeks and I left my cell phone and my laptop and any other electronic devices at home? Would my business be able to continue operating efficiently and as though you were still there? If you said no, then this little session that we're going to do this morning is for you. Systemizing your business is about putting policies and procedures in place to make your business operations run smoother and, more importantly, without your constant involvement. With your newfound freedom, time freedom to do what you want to do, you'll be able to focus your efforts on the bigger picture, strategically growing your business. So why should you systemize? For most small business owners, systems seemingly mean freedom from the day-to-day functioning of their organization. The company runs smoothly, makes a profit, and provides a high level of service regardless of the owner's involvement. I recall when I had my staffing firm and we reached a place where I could no longer handle all of the client needs. And every client, because they'd grown with us from from our infancy to the place that we were, they all wanted to have me as their person that they interacted with. But it was no longer feasible to do that. I couldn't grow my business and handle every customer interaction. And so it became necessary to train my staff and to put systems in place so that they could handle the client issues just as efficiently, and my clients would learn to depend on them instead of depending on me for all of that personal interaction. You may be experiencing that same thing in your company, where your clients just feel like they have to do the business with you and nobody else will do. So if that's the case, again, this is for you. Now, we want that business to run, our business to run smoothly without our involvement, right? So, systemizing your business is also a very healthy way to plan for the future. You're not going to be working forever. I mean, you may not envision selling your business at this point. You're thinking, "Ah, I'm never going to retire. I'm never going to sell it." But the truth is, you're probably not going to be working forever. So, what happens when you're ready to retire or you're ready to move on to another adventure? How will you transition your business to a new ownership or new management? How will you take that vacation that you've been dreaming of? Businesses that function without their ownership are also highly valuable to investors. So, the more efficiently your business runs without you, the greater resale value it has. Systemizing your business can put you in a very favorable light for purchase and warrant a higher price tag. One of the saddest things that I can think of for business owners is that when a business owner calls a business broker about selling their business brokers turn away 95% of the calls that they get because the business wasn't built in such a way that it has resale value. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for me. I want us to be able to build businesses that can run without us, that have great resale value. So today, I'm going to help you prepare for what you need to be working on in the new year to get your business to where it can run without you and you can regain time freedom, financial freedom, freedom in your relationships. Because we all know when we're working too many hours in the business, our relationships can suffer. So, what is a system? It's any process, policy, or procedure that consistently achieves the same result. So it doesn't matter who's doing it, whether it's you or someone else. Any task that is performed in your business more than once can be systemized. And ideally, the tasks that are completed on a cyclical basis, whether they be daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, should be systemized so much so that anyone can perform them. Now, systems can take many forms, from manuals and instruction sheets to signs and banners and audio or video recordings. They don't have to be elaborate or extensive. Just provide enough information in a step-by-step process to guide the person who's going to be performing the task. So what are the benefits of a business system? There truly are unlimited benefits available to you and your business through systemization. The more systems you can successfully implement, the more benefits that you'll see. So here are just a few. Better cost management, improved time management, clearer expectations of your staff, more effective staff training and orientation, increased productivity and potentially profits, happier customers with consistent service, maximized conversion rates, increased staff respect for your time is really critical. Increased level of individual initiative and greater focus on long-term business growth. Wow, that's a lot, right? So how do you begin? The first step in systemizing your business is taking a look at the existing systems, if any, in your business right now. So at this point, you can look for any systems that have kind of simply emerged as, oh, this is the way we do things. So maybe somebody asks you why you do such and such, and well, this is the way we do it here. Or you're training a new employee, this is the way we do it here. That's the beginning of a system. It's not complete enough, but it's the beginning of a system. Things like, how does your staff answer the phone? Do you have a system for that? Do they know exactly what to say when they answer the phone? What's the process that customers go through when dealing with your business? How are your employees hired? How are they trained? How's performance reviewed and rewarded? Those are just some of the areas. Now, some of your systems may be highly effective and not require any changes at all. Others may be ineffective and require some reworking. If you've previously established some systems, now is a good time to check in and evaluate how well they're functioning. So I'm going to give you some ideas on this, and I want you to listen to this and record what systems currently exist in your business. Okay, we're about ready to dive into our 7 areas to systemize in your business. Now, there's no doubt that system creation, especially when nothing exists currently, is a daunting and time-consuming task. And for many businesses, it can be difficult to determine where to start to make the best use of their time and effort from the onset. So, uh, we're going to talk about that a little bit as we go through this, all right? And I want you to think about this is not something that you have to do all at once. You're going to start with one area and work on that, and then move to the next area. And that will keep some of that overwhelm out, all right? Uh, so you start with 1 or 2 systems with each area and evaluate how these new systems affect your business. Each business requires its own unique set of systems. There's no cookie cutter here, okay? All right, I'm going to share my screen with you because I want you to be able to follow along with me. So give me just a moment here to get this screen up that I want. Okay, share screen. And let's see if I can get this right. Okay, this is what I want. I just want this window. Here we go. Think. So you should now be seeing a screen that says administrative systems. And so you are. Very good. All right. So this is where we're going to begin. So administrative systems is one area. It's the first area of systems that we're going to create out of the 7. All right. So our first area is administration. It's an important area of your business to systemize because administrative roles tend to see a high turnover. So a series of systems will reduce training time and keep you from explaining, for example, how the phones are to be answered each time a new receptionist joins your team. So let's look at the elements inside of this area of administration. And let's see, again, I'm just kind of adjusting my screens here so I can see everything that you're seeing. So, all right. Opening and closing procedures. First area we're going to look at. And you're saying, what? What's that? So these are the procedures involved every day as you open and close your business. Now, if you have a brick and mortar, especially, what are those processes that you go through? But also, if you're online, what are the processes that you go through in opening up and being ready for business every day? At the end of the day, how do you close out the day? What are the processes for your phone greeting, for your mail processing, for sending couriers if you do any of that, for your office maintenance, such as watering the plants, emptying the recycle bins, things of that nature, even dusting and sweeping, vacuuming, those kinds of things can come into this. Hopefully you outsource a lot of that to some kind of service that comes in and does that for you. Now, if you're operating out of your home, that becomes a little more challenging, right? You may still have someone that comes in and does that for you, which as soon as you can afford it, I encourage you to do that so that your time is spent in building your business. But watering the plants and emptying the recycling, those kinds of things are going to need to be done on a more frequent basis, right? And then there's filing and paper management. Now, that can be a huge issue for any business. It is one I struggle with, I'll tell you. Then there's workflow, there's document production, there's inventory management, order processing, and making orders. All right, so those are just some of the areas of administrative systems. Let's take a look at the next area, financial systems. This is one area of systems that you'll need to keep a close eye on, but that doesn't mean you have to do the work for yourself. Financial management systems are everything. Let's take a look at these areas and see what will really make a difference for you. You need systems around purchasing. What are how do you handle it when a purchase is necessary in your business? Credit card purchase tracking. Sometimes you have employees who also have a corporate credit card. You may have a corporate credit card. How do you handle that? Your accounts payable, accounts receivable, bank deposits, cutting checks, tax payments, profit and loss statements, invoicing, daily cash out, petty cash, employee expenses, payroll, and commission payments. That's a lot, isn't it? But when you think about it, not having those systems in place can cause you a great deal of frustration, lost time, and lost profit. So it's critically important that you get those right. The third area is communications. This one again is essential, and it's time consuming for any business. There's faxing, sales letters, memos, reports, newsletters, emails, social media. These are all elements. Let's see here. I didn't change my screen. Hang on a second. Let's get this right. Oops. Oh, I think we duplicated something here, folks. I'm not seeing the screen I want, so give me just a second and I will bring it up another way. Just a moment. One second. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know what happened to my document. Yeah. Okay. We'll just go on without it and we'll come back to the document in just a moment. We'll leave it here on our next area or just in between areas. So, I'm sorry, folks. All right. So, communications is what we're talking about. It's essential and time consuming for any business, as I mentioned before. Most of the time, communications aren't much different from one to the next, yet each one is created from scratch by a different person. There's a huge opportunity for systemization in this area of your business. Systemized communication ensures consistency and company differentiation, or branding, we might say. So, what are some of the areas that need to be systemized? There are communication systems, internal memos, fax covers, letterheads, team meeting agendas, the actual process for sending a fax, internal emails, newsletters, sales letters, meeting minutes, reports, internal meetings, and scheduling, just to name a few. Okay, so there's a lot there as well, right? Then we have, moving on, we have our customer relations is our fourth area. So this includes everything that the customer sees or touches in your company, as well as any interaction they might have with you or your staff members. Establishing a customer relations system will ensure that new staff members understand how customers are handled in your business. It will allow you to maintain a high level of customer service without constantly reminding the staff of your policies. And it will also ensure that the success of your customer relations and retention does not hinge on you or any other individual salesperson. So some of the customer relation systems include incoming phone call scripts, outgoing phone call scripts, customer service standards, customer retention strategy, customer communications templates, sales process, sales script, newsletter templates, ongoing customer communication strategy, and customer liaison policy. All right, our fifth area, let's see if we've gotten this one right here. Yes, employees. All right, so our fifth area has all to do with hiring and maintaining a staff. You need systems for that, for not only to hire and train them, but to develop them and retain them. So policies here will establish clear expectations for the employee and streamline time-consuming activities like recruitment. Employees with clear expectations who work within clear structures are happier and they're more productive. They're motivated to achieve A when they know that they're going to receive B if they don't, right? So this for that. If I do this, this is the reward I'm going to get. Establishing a clear training manual will also save you and your staff the time and hassle of training each new staff member on the fly. So some systems to consider are employee recruitment, employee retention, incentive and rewards programs, regular employee reviews, employee feedback, structure, staff uniforms or dress code, employee training, ongoing training, and professional development, as well as job description and role profiles. Let's take a look at number 6. Please don't be overwhelmed by this, folks. We take it a step at a time, right? So number 6 is marketing, and this is likely an area in which you'll spend a large part of your time as you focus on generating new leads and getting more people to call you or walk through your doors. And these efforts can all be systemized as well and delegated to other staff members. So use the information in this program to create simple systems for your basic promotional efforts. Any one of your staff should be able to pick up a marketing manual and implement a successful direct mail campaign or place a purposeful advertisement. Here are the systems: referral program, customer retention program, regular promotions, marketing calendar, inquiries, management, regular advertisements, advertisement creation system, direct mail system, sales procedures, and lead management. And finally, number 7, while we think we like to operate a paperless office, often the opposite is true. Your business needs to have clear systems for managing paper and electronic information to ensure that your information and your customers' information is protected, that it's easily accessed and only kept when necessary. One thing I see folks doing a lot of is they will take a credit card by phone and write that credit card number down when their client is purchasing something. Now you've become responsible for that credit card information. And so, you need to have systems in place that protect that customer data as well as protect you. Data management systems help you keep your office organized. Everyone knows where the information is, where it's to be stored, how it's to be handled, which prevents big stacks of paper with no place to go. Data management systems help you keep your office organized. Always ensure that within your data management system, you include a data backup system. That way, if anything happens to your server or your computer software, your data and potentially your business is protected. So here are the systems: IT management, data backup, computer repairs, electronic information storage, client file system, project file system, point of sale system, and financial data management. So let's talk for a moment about implementing new systems. And we will stop our sharing of our document here. Don't think we need that anymore. So Let's visit, though, about how you implement these new systems. You probably have a good idea at this point of the systems that are currently in place in your business. The next step then is to determine the systems that you need to create in your business. And to do this, you'll need a better understanding of the tasks that you and your employees complete on a daily basis and a weekly basis. If you operate a timesheet program, this can be a good source of information. Alternatively, ask your staff to keep a daily log and keep one yourself as well for a week of all the tasks that you contribute or that they contribute or complete. Doing this will not only give you valuable insight into how they're spending their time on a daily basis, but also involve them in the systemizing process. Review all those task logs or timesheet records. At the end of the week, remove any duplicates and group like tasks together. From here, you can categorize those tasks into business areas like the 7 that we've just shared, or you can create your own categories. Then you'll need to prioritize and plan your system creation and implementation efforts. Choose one from each category or one category to focus on at a time. Don't try and do it all at once. The amount you take on will depend on your business needs and the staff resources that you have. Remember that system creation is a long-term process. It's not something that will transform your business overnight. You need to be patient and focus on the items that hold the highest priority. Now, there's a big variety of ways to create these systems, depending upon the type of system that you need. And we can cover that in another episode. There is a linear process involved from start to finish. Again, we can cover that in more detail. Now, you also may have some issues with employee buy-in, which we can also cover later. We've about run out of time today, so I want to wrap this up. But I'd like to share with you that if you would like a PDF of the categories and the subcategories or a transcript of this show so that you can implement this easier, email me at regina@bridgeportstrategy.com. Include your name and email address and include the words 7 areas to systemize, and I'll send you all of that. Join me again next week when I bring back my mastermind panel to discuss the difference between setting goals for the new year and setting intentions. Which is best, how they work together, and what you can do to have your best year yet. To those of you who celebrate this season of the year, celebrate the birth of our Savior, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, and I wish you all a wonderful week. Bye for now.
Show today, a huge, tremendous show with a wonderful, wonderful guest that I've been looking forward to just having that conversation with. He doesn't know this, but I've been just a little bit stalking him a little bit. Been knowing him for a while through other friends that we both know together. And I'm just telling you right now, this person, I don't want to say the name just yet because I want to keep the suspense for a minute here. He is a magnificent person. He really is. He has a heart of gold. And, you know, sometimes in this world that we're living in right now, it's kind of hard to find those treasures sometimes. But this particular person is one of those treasures, and you're going to really understand that when we have the conversation today. So okay, I'm gonna let the cat out the bag, like they say. Mr. Rich Hopkins is in the building, in the virtual building, because we gotta be safe. Gotta be safe. So no mask. We don't have no mask today because we're really, quarantined right. Because we're on video. He can't, I can't really breathe. He can't breathe. I mean, we're good. So we're gonna make sure we're okay with that. But Mr. Rich Hopkins, oh my God, and he's here to celebrate some milestones today. But okay, can you say international speaker? Can you say author, an awesome author? Can you say a podcaster? Can you say a TEDx, Ignite, two-time world championship finalist on the Toastmaster big stage, I call it. And then he has a book that just came out that he's going to talk about. And the list goes on. Those are just a few little things that I'm talking about. Just a few. I mean, there's like a book of Rich, but I can't get into that because then you won't be able to hear him speak today. And we talk because I'll just be talking about all his accolades and everything. But before I bring on this royalty, before I bring on this king that's coming on the stage today, I have to do him justice. We gotta bring him out right. So here we go. You'll see him right after this little preview of a video. Hello, the master's in the house.
Good morning. Wow, you have been stalking me. I haven't seen some of those pictures in years.
I especially like the one where it says, kick ass and take names. I like that one.
Yeah. Somebody sent me that card once.
Oh,
I think it was before I went to Malaysia.
Oh, wow. See, I dug a little bit, huh? Well, hopefully that showed how awesome you are with, through those pictures and just looking at those, and everybody else that's looking at you, how awesome you are. So Mr. Rich Hopkins, thank you. So first of all, before we even start conversating, thank you so much for coming on the Diamond Factor Experience show with me. I truly appreciate it. This is good. I like this. So thank you so much.
You bet. It's an honor to join you in your long list of amazing guests.
Yeah. And can you believe we just celebrated? I just can't believe just a few weeks ago, we celebrated 1 year. I've been under the E360 network. And I'm like, yeah. So you're just starting off the second year, going into the second year type right. And the new year for 2020 before we get to 2022. So this is an honor. So Rich, you've been busy, sir. You have been very busy. So I don't even know where to start. So let's first, before we even go into the book and, the Toastmaster journey, some other things, I always tell people, one of the things I always ask people is, where did it all start? Like, I know you were this amazing, just superhero right now doing everything. And it started somewhere a long time ago. So can you just tell us a little journey, how you got to this point?
Well, I got to tell you, today is an inspiring day for me, and it goes all the way back to when I was 9 years old. And I want to tell a story. You've probably heard a little bit of it if you watch my TED Talk. Mm-hmm. But this Superman shirt is representative of my best friend, Jeff Ford. Mm-hmm. When he was a kid, he wore a Superman shirt almost exactly like this. Wow. He and I used to make movies in his backyard. Of course, they weren't Superman movies because he didn't have a Superman outfit other than the shirt. But his mom had made him a Spider-Man outfit. Okay. So we made Spider-Man movies on this old V8 camera in 1977. And he decided when he was 9 years old, he wanted to grow up and make movies. Well, today I'm going to go see Spider-Man No Way Home. And the film editor for that movie is Jeff Ford.
Oh my God, his dream is, oh wow. That's awesome,
So
Rich.
this outfit is in honor of my friend Jeff, who taught me that you could reach your dream
Yes.
if you just were persistent enough, if you just waited long enough. It's in 44 years. Now, okay, he's been a success before this. He did happen to work on the Iron Man movies and all the Avengers movies, but today is full circle from Spider-Man in the backyard to Spider-Man on the big screen.
Wow. Now that's a story. That is, see, I'm loving it, like you said, Rich, because it just shows you how your dreams can come true. And no matter how long it takes, you can get there. And I mean, he's doing all this. Wow. Wow.
He's an amazing guy.
So now, okay, you and him when younger, doing the movies and stuff. Because it's funny how you say that, because I used to do that too when I was growing up. I wanted to be on Fame. I love Fame. I love to dance. So I want to be that dancer. So I was doing that kind of stuff in the backyard. Then things changed. Well, everybody knows that now. but you take that little detour somewhere. But when you two were doing that, now he did his dream where he's doing. Now, what made you become what you're doing now, the speaker and really helping other people understand what their voice is and everything?
It took me a little bit longer to figure out what I wanted to do. Back when I was a kid, I thought I was going to grow up and be a comic book artist.
Oh, okay.
But that did not happen. I quickly realized that while I was a good artist, I was not a great artist, and nor did I have the patience to become a great artist. What I ended up doing was going into a business that I swore I would never go into. When I was in the 8th grade, I had to give an oral book report on Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, boy.
And I really didn't think I had to prepare. I mean, how hard is it to give an oral book report on Abraham Lincoln? But when I actually got up, I had no notes, and suddenly I went blank.
Wow.
I ended up staring out at 47th grade eyes, staring back at me, and had nothing to say. Ended up running out of the room in tears.
Oh, no.
And I decided then I was never going to do public speaking again. But I ended up in college, not really going into public speaking, but ending up on stage. Because this girl I was attempting to date was, that's why guys do anything in college, right?
It's a woman involved.
It's always a woman. And she was trying out for this English play called Toward Zero. So I was helping her practice her English accent.
Okay.
But the night of tryouts, I went with her to support her, and she insisted that I try out. Well, she didn't get cast, and I got the lead.
Oh, it flipped.
Which wasn't really conducive to our relationship continuing.
No. I was going to ask you that. I think that dissolved, didn't it?
that was over. But I spent the next 5.5 years that it took me to earn my 4-year degree doing a ton of different plays and being on stage. So that was really my first time learning what it was like to be in front of an audience.
Yeah.
But it wasn't public speaking, really, was it? I didn't break my promise to myself. I was using somebody else's words, and I was taking somebody else's direction. I didn't even really need to connect with the audience. You had to have that wall between you and the audience, right?
Yeah.
But Toastmasters, when I got older, well, there was this other woman.
She said, Rich.
And Steve invited me to her Toastmasters club that she was president of.
Okay.
And that's how I ended up involved in Toastmasters. Now, that relationship didn't last very long. Best thing I got out of it was Toastmasters, which I've now been a member of for going on 23 years.
Ooh. Did you say
And
30 years? Did you how
23
many?
years.
23 years? Wow, Rich.
So
And I'm thinking my little 10 years is something. It's like,
you know, and yet I know people who've been in for 40 and 50 years. So 23 years is, I'm like a child to them. But the point is, once I got into Toastmasters, it opened my eyes to who I could be as a speaker, delivering messages, making an impact on people, and also helping people as a presentation speaker once I'd had enough experience to help them discover, develop, and deliver their best message. So it's a bit of a roundabout way to get to my dream, but it has gotten me exactly where I want to be. And the Go Ahead and Laugh book that you participated in with your speech, it's simply an extension of everything that I have done since I promised myself I wouldn't do it way back in the early 80s.
Wow. You never, just to appeal a little bit what you were saying about, your journey. And I love how, people come, this just shows you people come in your life, for a purpose, for that time, for that moment. So, I mean, I know we were laughing about the two women, how they seemed like they brought you to a certain spot, but that was for a purpose for you to get where you needed to go to leap to the next level. I mean, if you would have stopped back when, you were up there trying to read the Lincoln thing and you just went blank, then we wouldn't be seeing the wonderful Rich Hopkins as you are now. So you took that, you said, you know what? Hey, it's going to go a different route. The plays happen, and then Toastmaster happened, and then you just kept, keep on. 23 years, that is just a milestone of greatness right there. And I just have to just give you, so much kudos for that. And then with the collaboration book now, like I said, Go Ahead and Laugh Volume 2. This is a second volume.
Yeah, back in 2009, I published Go Ahead and Laugh Volume 1. Now, I would show you Go Ahead and Laugh Volume 2, but since I just published it last week, I don't have a real copy of it yet.
I don't either. Not yet. It's coming.
I thought about it because I had, back in 2006, when I went to the World Championship for the first time, didn't win, took third place. I worked with the winner, Ed Hearn, from right there in Chicago, and the second place winner, Doug Wilson, and we put all of our speeches into a book, the speeches we needed at the district level, at the region level, and at the finals level. And we each did our own analysis of our speeches, why we wrote them, how they worked, how they didn't work, so that people could read those. Now, this book, I decided to create when I went to the World Championship in 2008, where I didn't even place, and got involved in a documentary named Speak that I thought would chronicle my winning the World Championship, when all it did was chronicle my not winning the World Championship. But I wanted to have a book to go with that as well. And in this case, I went with humorous speeches from other people that I would analyze for the humor, for what made it funny, for what didn't work, for techniques that people could use out of the book. Because it's one thing to learn techniques for humor just as theory. Here's a formula. Try this, try that. It's another to actually read a speech that has humor in it and have that explained to why it's working within that speech. We don't have books like that.
No, you're right. You're right.
The most I could find were like political speeches that were examined for how they changed the world. Well, it doesn't help me if I want to be a better humorous speaker unless I want to look at the humor of failed political promises.
Yeah, that could be a book of its own. That could be a book of its own. But
so
you're right.
I waited 11 years, but I finally got to volume 2.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference between the books is this has more serious speeches,
Okay.
not just a bunch of humorous speeches.
Mm-hmm.
Your speech is rather serious and formal, but it uses humor. And I show people how they can use that humor, how you speakers, the 12 speakers I have in the book, all use humor in different ways in different situations.
Yes. Yes. Well, first, Rich, I just have to thank you so much for, reaching out to me and having me in your wonderful book. And I love how the concept of it, like you said, you take the speech, you look at it, you review it, you give feedback so people can learn how to really work their own speech. It's just like, it's almost like a steps to, making sure that if you're looking at your speech, how to really look at it in detail so people are understanding what's coming, what you're saying basically in your speech. So I think that volume 2 is going to turn into a lot of other volumes. I'm just saying, I think that's going to happen.
I think I'm going to have to take less than 11 years between books.
Yeah, you got to do it a little bit sooner than 11 years stretched out because we need more. We need more. So that's so interesting. So Rich, I know with time here, I want to make sure that you talk about which is so awesome too, is the Win Anyway Life speaker. How did that evolve? How did that start off?
That kind of came up without me expecting it. There came a point in 2012 where I just decided I had to have a keynote. I had to have something that I wanted to deliver, a message that was crystal clear for people. And I'd been competing in the international speech contest for years, obviously by that point, but I hadn't really come up with a very clear message. And so I'm sitting there at the frankly, I'm in traffic court getting a ticket paid, and I'm waiting for a couple of hours to make that happen. I've got my little notebook with me, and I'm writing down all the different messages over the years that I've delivered.
Wow.
And they all had something to do with defining your own victory. Not letting the world tell you whether you're winning or losing, but deciding for yourself what a victory is and what a victory isn't, so that you don't have to let other people decide for you how you're doing in life. And I came up with Win Anyway that day.
Wow.
And I realized that there were so many different points in my life that winning anyway was crucial, whether it was me as a little kid with a disability, dealing with other people making fun of me and me living my life anyway, whether it was when I was 38 years old, choosing to give up my lower left leg so that I could have a better life, where people were saying, well, why would you choose to lose something? I'm not choosing to lose something. I'm choosing to gain something.
Yes.
Choosing to gain a super deluxe robot leg and a life that is going to be better than the one I have with a foot that is no longer working. See, but if you go by what other people tell you, you could see that as a failure, as something you had to give up instead of something you went out to gain.
Yes.
I look at my daughter who dealt with a brain tumor, still has a brain tumor, non-cancerous, but how every day she chooses to move on and live anyway with a positive attitude. She's getting married next year.
Oh, congrats.
There's all sorts of examples of being able to ignore the way the world tells you you should feel and to go forward and to see that victory, to celebrate it, even if it isn't a complete victory, so that you can keep moving forward towards the ultimate victories you want to have.
Love it. Love it. See, I wanted to go just a little bit, because the biggest thing I see every time I see you, Rich, is I think about the word perseverance. I think about the word perseverance with you, because through your whole life, you just pursue, you just push. and push and be like, that's not going to stop. I'm going to keep doing this. I want to, find another way. And I love that. And I feel like that's just your whole thing of your life, to show people that you can do it. So I wanted to ask you, what would you tell others? Because there's so many people out here, especially with the pandemic now and just a whole array of stuff going on. What would you tell, individuals, how they should follow your lead with that?
Sure. Well, every good motivational speaker has a formula, right? So my win anyway formula, even though it should only be 3 steps, is 4 steps.
Okay.
I mean, you take a look at where you're at in achieving whatever it is you want to achieve. You review where you're at right now compared to where you were when you started. And if you haven't achieved it, what does the world say? The world says you have nothing to celebrate. You're failing, you're losing. Well, what I'm saying is take a look at where you were, take a look at where you are. Even if you're not any further, you've probably learned something that doesn't work, right?
Yes.
So look at what is working, look at what isn't working, get a grasp on that, and then celebrate your new information, celebrate your new knowledge. That's step 2. After review, celebrate, because celebrating increases your power. It helps add to your momentum. It builds your self-esteem, whereas not celebrating because you haven't gotten there yet and feeling bad about yourself just stops you in your tracks. And that's what the world tells you to do. No, go celebrate how far you're coming, even though you aren't closer to your goal in a sense that you think you should be, but because you now know what not to do, and you now have some things that you can look at that have been working. That takes you to step 3. What's my strategy going forward? What am I going to change? Am I going to change how I approach my goal? Or, I know this sounds crazy, but is there another goal I want to achieve instead? Do I need to change that goal?
Yeah.
People say, oh, that's quitting. No, it's not quitting. Sometimes it's giving up one thing to go after something better, like my super deluxe robot leg, which then leads into step 4, which everybody knows. Step 4, you're just waiting for it. Take some action. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Yes. Take action. Now, I was listening to your steps. Now, I want to throw in now that this is kind of bad. Now, these are your steps. I'm about to add another one that I think would help.
Well, 5 steps is good.
This is collaborating here. This is collaborating of its best. Celebrate others. And I say that because what you're doing right now with your friend, how his dream came true. And right now you're about to go to Spider-Man. Come on, everybody. People don't know who Spider-Man is and superheroes and stuff. Something's wrong and they're not in this world. And you're celebrating your friend creating his dream, seeing his dream come to life. It opened up to. So I feel like celebrating others also helps with all of the persevering what you're doing in life. Yeah, definitely. Wow, Rich. Rich. Ooh, I'm going to bring you back if you don't mind.
I'd love to come back anytime.
Yes, Rich. So thank you so much. And again, I want you to tell everybody how to reach you and how to get the book, because like you said, it's just last week. So it's fresh out there for people to order.
The best way to get the book right now is to follow the Amazon link that Barbara no doubt is going to have with this video at some point, or just go on Amazon and search Go Ahead and Laugh Volume 2, or just Go Ahead and Laugh. You can reach me at richhopkins.com. I know I made it really, really complicated, richhopkins.com. Or if you want to stalk me like Barbara has, just go to Rich Hopkins on Facebook, Rich Hopkins on Twitter, Rich Hopkins on LinkedIn. I was a very early adopter, so I got just my name with no extra numbers on virtually every single platform.
See, it was already created. It was going to be that way for you. So I'm glad you don't have to worry about any extra stuff. It's just Rich Hopkins. So there's no excuse for people not to be able to get to you. So again, Rich, you enjoyed today. Enjoy Spidey. I know a lot of other people are enjoying it today because it's opened up this week. And again, please keep doing what you do and being a true impactor especially when it comes to persevering and doing your dreams and moving forward. And like you said, taking action just like you have. So thank you, Rich. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Barbara.
it. You take
It's been
care.
a truly an honor to be on your show. You are so energetic and inspiring.
I'm hanging on your every word, the love inside, I feel it burn. I'm never